James Harden is a Los Angeles Clipper. Guys, like most of you, I was asleep when this happened. I think it happened around 2 in the morning. That's just what happens with the Los Angeles time. If you remember a few years back when Paul George was traded to the Clippers, it was the same thing. It was 2 in the morning. It's 2:42 a.m. actually, to be specific, when James was traded. This is such an interesting trade for both teams, guys. We have a ton to get into in this video. Let's just knock it out really quickly. I just woke up. Let's go. No notes, no nothing. On the Clippers side of things, the first question I think we're all wondering, does this make them championship contenders? First and foremost, I think they already were contenders. Obviously, the biggest contingency on that is the Clippers' health. A lot of people, kind of just giving up on them, if you will. There's just saying, the Kawhi's not going to stay healthy, Paul's not going to stay healthy. Why would I even put stock into this team? Someone like James is going to do a really great job, especially down the stretch of the season when we get into the games, 60, 70, 80. When we get towards those games, someone like James, who utilizes the ball so much on offense, is going to be able to take a lot of pressure off the Kawhi Leonards and the Paul Georges. It's very interesting that they were able to do this trade and keep someone like Terrence Mann as well. I just want to add, James Harden has such a negative narrative around his name, but a lot of people forget that he led the league in assists last year. And while his playoff performance wasn't what you would call ideal, I mean, he had like a 40-point game, then a 10-point game, then a 50-point game, then a 17-point game. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it just kind of seems like he was up and down and up and down. In this league, James will never really get the respect that he once garnered as, that 36-point per game superstar scorer. But at this stage in his career, that's just not where he needs to be. I think James Harden does really help the Clippers figure a lot out. Obviously, they have Russell Westbrook, and Russ and James have been teammates on 2 different occasions. I'm sure they're going to get along fine. It's also great that they sent PJ Tucker over as well, as Russ, PJ, and James have all been teammates. And PJ is just a very likable guy all in all, and he does all the little things on championship teams. When it comes to PJ, I always think of that Game 6 in the NBA Finals where he won his first championship. And I'll put it up on the screen right now. I can't really remember. I think it was like 42 minutes or something he played, maybe a little bit more, and he only shot 1 shot. But they ended up winning. Those are just the type of guys that make winning plays and you want to go out and play for and play with. They did lose a lot of wing depth, trading away Nicholas Batum and Marcus Morris and Robert Covington. However, getting someone like James Harden, who's a year away from should have been being an all-star or an all-NBA player, honestly, guys, I think this is a great trade for both sides. For the Clippers, I would honestly give it a B+. I feel like people are gonna, underestimate how great he can actually be. With a coach like Ty Lue, I think he's really gonna enjoy that. I think that means you're going to start bringing Russell Westbrook off the bench. I could be wrong. But ideally, I think Russ going back into that bench role would be really great. If you guys remember, he was actually in the 6th Man of the Year conversations pretty big time in Los Angeles when he played with the Lakers, Russell Westbrook. I just think someone who can distribute the ball and take away pressure from Paul and Kawhi. Like I said, I just woke up. Paul and Kawhi, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. James Harden's a good energy guy when he can be. It's like that type of girlfriend where, she's either great or she's not. She's either in her mood or she's not. So we'll see how long, the good mood and the good times last for James. Obviously, we're talking about Los Angeles, one of the most desirable places to be. I'm sure he didn't want to spend another winter in Philadelphia. I'm sure he was tired of, the types of things that Joel Embiid were saying. Obviously, he didn't like Daryl Morey or Doc Rivers. The Sixers saga is over. The process, it failed that. But let's talk about the Sixers side of things, guys. Sixers received Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, and some draft capital. Honestly, guys, for the Sixers, I was just watching Tim Legler and JJ Redick's podcast last night. They do a weekly one on the Old Man of the Three. If you guys don't watch it, if you're a basketball fan, you're watching this video, I recommend you go watch that. They were making a point saying, you're not going to get a star back for James Harden. You're just going to get depth. And that they did. They hit it right on the nose, guys. The Sixers seemingly don't need another star if Tyrese Maxey is going to perform at the level that he is. Tyrese Maxey is showing leaps and bounds more than what the general public expected of him. Obviously, we've seen flashes of him doing this in the past. I remember one of his first games as a rookie, he had like 42 points or something. Tyrese, he's not a great ball, facilitator. I almost said handler. He's a great handler, but he's not a great facilitator. But he is such an elite scoring threat, guys. And when you have people like Nick Batum, Morocco, I'm not the biggest fan of Marcus Morris, but when you have guys like that who can just sit in the corner and play elite level defense, guys, it really does make your job a whole lot easier on the facilitating side of things. Losing PJ Tucker is kind of a big loss as far as the chemistry and the little nitty gritty things go. But I think for the 76ers, this was a great trade, especially if seemingly you start the season with no issues without James, and then all you're doing is bringing in more wing depth. This is something that I think is really, really going to help the defensive ceiling of this team. When Joel exerts his energy on defense, he is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. You kind of have to, play both. Obviously, last year he was using a lot of his energy on that offensive side as he was hunting that MVP trophy. But James Harden era in Philadelphia, it was fun to watch. I mean, last year there was so many exciting games with James Harden, obviously running that pick and roll with JoJo. We've seen James Harden make mid centers like Clint Capella look like superstars. And obviously, when you have a superstar like Joel Embiid, it's just so much fun to watch. But what do you guys think? Who won this trade? Was it even? Let me know in the comments below, guys. In my opinion, this in recent memory, as far as situationally speaking, this is one of the more even trades. The league's ready to quit on James. This is probably his last chance to be, a starter getting fat money. Clippers, man. I'm really excited to see what happens. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's literally 9 a.m. as I'm wrapping this up. God bless you guys. Bye.